this is the kind of in-depth analysis that you can expect from us. And if this is too high level for you, then you can just go watch like Swing Pass or something. All right.
I'm open.
I'm open.
Welcome to episode 69 of the I'm Open podcast. And I am not just saying that. You can go count. This is our 69th episode. And it is the day that we are celebrating the Detroit Mechanics hitting 69 straight losses. Congratulations to everyone in the Central Division who made this happen. Particularly
unbelievable
whoever's throwing money at running the Detroit Mechanics, because couldn't do it without you.
Congratulations.
Seriously. When we no one's really been talking about how monumental this losing streak is. Like, we're definitely, I mean, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we have been kind of leading the charge.
Oh, but, absolutely.
We just thought on, because I don't think anyone wants to like advertise that like a losing streak like this. But when was it? It was like in the off season. We were just like, wait a second, this is like
I think really it was earlier than that. I think it was earlier than that. I remember talking about it. Well, I remember talking about the potential for 69 earlier than that, but it might have been the off season when we were like looking at where it ranks historically among other losing streaks. There
was a point before the season started where we were like, what are they at? What do they need? And then we like started putting together the days, and then when it clicked, when the schedule came out and we saw that they were playing Pittsburgh for the 70th game, like we were all going crazy. And like, I think we have to bring this up, but we had an episode with friend of the pod, Martis Artis on, and we did agree that if Detroit wins their next game, we're all getting tattoos.
I was not there for that. I didn't.
I was just spokesperson, and I agreed to it for you.
I am scared. I am scared. I kind
of wanted to happen.
I'll make one caveat, and I think this should be allowed. Instead of getting just the Mechanics tattoo, we get the 69 tattoo.
Absolutely.
that Sam made.
Oh my god.
that would be
no. Oh,
I think it's a dealer's choice, but
yeah. What do you want though? Do you want a Detroit tattoo, or do you want the 69 on you?
I was trying to find because that was on my mind too, because Marty commented on our Instagram post, and I completely forgot that we agreed to do that, and but did we explicitly say if they get 69 and it stops at 69, we get the tattoos? That's the agreement. So I was trying to find, do we have the episode in our Google Drive? Because I was trying to clip that so we could post it and be like, oh shit,
I might have taken it out.
It's already I'm pretty sure it's already a reel on our Instagram.
It is. We should dig that up, and or maybe not, actually. Fuck, we've already talked about it. The damage is done.
Talked about it.
We're gonna hold ourselves to that, I think.
Guys, Marty's gonna call us out for it no matter what.
I can't do that. Oh no.
So
I would say I wouldn't be too worried.
Yeah, I'll get a tramp stamp right next to my Boston Glory tramp stamp.
Pretty good. Right next to the Glory.
Right next to the Glory logo.
And again, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
The best chance they have out of any of the matchups they're gonna get.
That's true.
I'm excited.
The last thing I'll say on this, if we're ready to move on, is that our R&D department got back to us. We were saying it's the longest losing streak in like pro sports history.
Yeah,
I think technically there's like some hockey league in like Asia or something.
Did any of us look this up, or are we just taking Sasha's word for it? I mean, our R&D department's word for it.
Did not confirm. But to know that we're like 100% truthful, it's the longest losing streak in U.S. sports history.
Professional,
not just ongoing. U.S. pro sports.
Yeah,
it's not even on. It is ongoing, but I don't know what the second place is, but it is way beyond whatever second place is. So
unless we're counting NASCAR,
Yeah,
and we can't do that.
We're counting when like you go into a game and each team has an equal shot, or like only one team.
Yeah.
Are you saying NASCAR?
One-on-one.
Like if you don't get first,
I don't know. When we were looking this
That's
up,
not-
I remember whenever
saying
the
golfing,
Wikipedia page we were looking at was talking about a race car driver who lost like 200 straight games and then died.
Oh yeah,
that's horrible.
Gotcha.
That is
Thanks,
murder.
Joe. Thanks for that, Joe. But yeah, the last thing I'll say is that it is. I am actually like quite in awe at this losing streak. It's pretty remarkable. Let's not let's give it its recognition.
Absolutely.
At the same time, like I'm rooting for Detroit to break it. It's awful. Like I feel, I'm rooting for those guys, especially for the 70th, because if they lock in. Actually, I'm not, because the tattoo thing kind of ruins it.
Just get it on your thigh.
We'll get our.
We'll
legal
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll get the legal department to find a loophole in there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyway,
yeah, as Andrew alluded to, we're going to move on, but what we're going to move on to is a lot more talking about this. So if you're here for tier talk, you might want to skip ahead a little bit. But anyway, Joe prepared us a few graphs so we can take a look at this streak by the numbers. Joe, if you want to lead the way here.
Well, thanks for the introduction here, Sam. Yeah, so I thought what better way to look at this streak than to just, look at it in its entirety and kind of understand the nuance behind each one of these games and how they've come together into this beautiful 69 streak. Well, here, obviously, it is just, the win share. Who owns a piece of this 69? They have not played any interconference games this season, so it's just Alley-Cats, Union, Thunderbirds, Windchill, and Rascals. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was going to be pretty even, and then there was like hopefully going to be like one team in there with just one, but yeah, it's just I don't really know why the Rascals are so much lower.
I guess they play like on paper, shouldn't it be like equal? Maybe they still have games against the Rascals like this season.
Yeah, I think they do. And also like I guess it's just like
not
randomly you'll play a team 3 times and maybe they just never did that against the Rascals or something.
Yeah. Weird. I guess when you put it to the point of like it's like they've only played these 5 teams over the last 69 games, like it really doesn't matter how who has the most, because like it's just a streak, like
yeah, and honestly,
started and then who have they played over that period of time, and we knew they lost.
Yeah, exactly. And now all of these teams can know exactly the amount that they put into this streak of 69.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out
all regular season, to be clear.
Makes sense. Shout out Pittsburgh for stepping up to bat 14 times and taking care of business. That's
Pittsburgh weirdly like
scary.
Like this season especially, it's recent in memory, but Pittsburgh kind of likes to shit on Detroit, and then kind of no one else, but like Detroit, they'll like just show up and just absolutely shit on them.
Take care of business.
They know no one watches the rest of their games. All right, well here we have average points scored against Detroit during the streak. So congrats to the Windchill for putting up 29 points per game against Detroit.
I don't even think of them as like a high scoring team. That's pretty funny.
They just turn it on when they play Detroit. And then Thunderbirds lowest scoring, unsurprisingly, but Union, that maybe has something to do with their last 2 games being pretty low scoring too. So I don't know.
This kind of directly contradicts what I just said about Pittsburgh, but
but this season it's been true for sure.
Yeah, that's still a lot of points. This is insane. This is the average points per game.
This is the average across those 69 games.
Oh my god.
Yeah, even 23 is like a good amount of points.
23 is a lot. Like
this is average. What? Detroit is scoring.
Yikes.
12.9.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Detroit just played a close game with the Cats, and you can see here they score the most. they get some confidence, and I don't think that can be entirely because like maybe they play better inside because it's half inside, half outside. So
I feel like
don't know.
that's maybe some indoor stadium,
but half of the games are in Detroit too.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know, but yeah,
I think a little of that probably is related to that, but yeah, that's a pretty sizable lead.
Yeah, 12. Yeah, not scoring 13 against the Rascals is
that's tough. That is tough.
And yeah, so here we have how much every team on average beat Detroit by during this streak. So brutal. Because they only scored almost 13 points against the Rascals typically
they were getting beat by more than they were scoring.
They're on average getting doubled.
Oh god.
Yikes.
I like intuitionally want to say I feel bad for Detroit. I just don't. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's not good to be averaging 12.9 and losing by 13.
14.
Oh my god. And like you look at this graph and you're like, oh, the Thunderbirds played all these close games. They're still winning by more than 6.5 points per game against Detroit.
That's still a blowout every time.
How are they still a team? How is this a functioning organization?
That's no one knows. Question. I think I only had one more graph left. This one I think was the most telling. Yeah, so win percentage during these 69 games. You can see the Alley Cats, the Rascals, the Thunderbird, the Union, the Wind Chill all have 100% for their winning percentage in these 69 games. And then if you look all the way to the right, you can see the Mechanics of a 0 winning percentage across these last 69 games. Yeah,
that's really surprising.
This is the kind of in-depth analysis that you can expect from us. And if this is too high level for you, then you can just go watch like Swing Pass or something. All right. You can't really wrap your head around this analysis, then you
for sure. Flip that. That's the intro right there.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Joe, for this in-depth analysis.
Truly enlightening.
Expect, these
I hope I shed some light on Detroit's last 69 games
for sure.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Nice.
I think we're done with stats, and we have some merch to throw at you. And this merch, I mean, come on, this is a sweet shirt.
This is hot.
We have our 69 Detroit logo here, which AUDL, this is parody law. I don't know. Don't stick your nose in this.
This is an original design.
This is our business. This has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're selling these shirts with the Detroit logo on it. The altered Detroit logo, and then on the back we have sort of a concert T-shirt kind of thing, and it's got the date, the opponent, and the score from each of the 69 losses.
Oh my god.
I mean,
that looks amazing.
A fantastic shirt.
It's such a good shirt.
Yep.
Like tell me you wouldn't wear this to like a funeral or something. Like this is high class stuff.
Yeah.
And pick your color.
You get a pea color.
Yeah, if you're a central team, pick your team color and wear it to your next Detroit
Union
game.
Guys, get this one.
Oh, that's such a hype shirt.
Rascal guys.
Oh, they even Rascal have Detroit red.
One.
Oh, Havoc.
Detroit?
That's Havoc color right there.
The 69 doesn't show up that much in that.
Wind Chill.
Beautiful.
Thunderbirds.
Something for everybody.
There's something for everyone.
Alley Cats, kind of the last one. How Alley Cats is that?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty Alley Cats.
That's pretty Alley Cats. Oh, Cam Brock, if you have made it this far in this podcast and you've listened to all this shit talk, you have to buy this.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the rules.
We can release a baby outfit too.
How does the black
child?
How does the black one look with the text?
Terrible.
You have a functioning
buyer beware. Buyer beware.
Look at that. This shirt already has 6,884 reviews. And it's got 4.5 stars, so everyone should go buy it.
No,
everyone
it's
loves
trusted.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get it in like 4 days. That's kind of nuts.
Wow, that's
Anyway.
Pretty
impressive.
good. I mean, look at the shirts that Joe and I are wearing. Like this is very, very comfortable.
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
They are comfy.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Enough.
right, I think we're done with that. Subscribe and whatnot.
Link in bio.
Link in bio.
All right, let's talk tiers.
Let's talk tiers. We are gonna talk tiers. I've updated the Detroit logo in our tier list.
Oh my god, yes.
Beautiful. Oh my god.
We've still got
Sam.
Thank you. We still got both birds, hot and cold, in there. And I think that'll remain. But we got some games to go over and some tiers to reshuffle. How do we want to do this? Bottom up, top down?
Bottom
Middle
up.
out? Bottom up?
Bottom up.
All right,
Let's go middle out.
All right, bottom up. We've got Detroit went 0-2.
Shocker.
I think we've talked about them at length already, so we can just move on. Nitro didn't play. Legion lost by 11.
A lot.
To Atlanta.
It's pretty bad.
Who was on the second night of their back-to-back.
Normal.
I did want to say a couple high-level notes. Shout out to the Atlanta Hustle for clinching the playoffs.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They also, by defeating Houston and Dallas, clinched the playoffs for Austin and Carolina. So congrats to all three.
Yeah. All that seeding is
they're all just in the playoffs. They're all in the playoffs now?
Yeah, they're all in the playoffs. It's just a matter of what the order will be.
Yeah, I think Houston, the Hustle only have 2 games left, but they're both against Carolina, and they have a 2-game lead on Carolina and also a 2-game lead on the Soul, but the Soul and Carolina both have 3 games left.
Yeah.
Having that first round bye sounds very nice.
Yeah, if they win both, they definitely have first place. If they win one, the Soul are also probably going to win their last 3 because it's against the rest of the division. I don't know how the tiebreak would work between them. Is it head-to-head?
I think it's just head-to-head. So
okay, so if Atlanta wins one of these 2, they probably win the division.
Yeah.
Side note to while we're talking to the Ducaton teams, there's a really high chance, and I would say almost a guaranteed chance, that we get 4 winless teams this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's one in each division, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 1 in each division.
Okay. Wait,
which we can. Sorry, we can get to bringing Montreal down in a second.
I was gonna say.
Okay, wait.
That just makes me sad.
Wait, I'm not done with my shout outs though.
Go ahead, Sam.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Shout out to the Empire, who also clinched the playoffs with a Boston Glory loss this week.
Shocker.
And this is not a clinching, more of a clenching, but the Salt Lake Shred basically have clinched the playoffs. There is a possibility that they could lose out, end up in a 3-way tie with Oakland and LA, and if LA beats the Shred by like 30, then then the Shred would miss the playoffs. So
how did you figure that out?
Clenched.
Well, I figured out that they would be in a 3-way tie, and then it was just a matter of the Shred have to be last in the because the tiebreaker is amongst the 3 of them point differential.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Shred are plus 20 or something like that right now, so they would have to get obliterated to end up at the bottom of that, which I don't think is realistically possible. So kind of congrats to the Shred also.
Hey, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. But anyway,
not yet.
That's
we'll clap for them.
For my shout-outs.
We'll clap for them probably next week, but
yeah,
not yet.
Back to the South playoff thing real quick. I just thought about if Carolina wins both of the games against the Hustle, they'd be tied with the Hustle with 8 wins, and then that would probably just mean that the Soul get first place in the division because the Soul are probably going to have 9 wins because they just played the Duke for the rest of the season.
That'd be so whack.
There, no way the Soul goes to championship weekend. It's
Who's Carolina's other last game?
One of the Dukes. I don't know.
Okay. So, but then they would.
So they do.
probably
They
get
do have
9,
another
right?
game, so they would be tied with the Soul. That's a good point.
Unless they lose a Duke show.
Yeah, unless they or the Soul lose Duke show.
All
Okay.
right.
We'll keep our eyes on
Crazy.
Well, in terms of Dukeage, do we move Royale down?
I think we have to.
Yeah, they're winless. I mean, what makes them better than those other teams? I don't know.
I think we have
Right.
to because they're all winless, and then I think we move Houston up just to have like the separation between the winless teams, like an empty tier.
Does Houston deserve to go up, man?
I think it's more of just like, Seattle's got 2 wins, but they suck, and like,
How many
why
wins
is
does Houston
in
have?
that? 2.
Houston has 2, but they're both against Dallas.
Yeah.
Houston should just stay there.
Houston's F,
Didn't-
man.
Doesn't
Houston's
Seattle
F.
only have 2 wins against Portland, or did they beat the Growlers?
They beat the Growlers.
Oh, all right, fine. They did something good.
I think Seattle would probably beat Houston.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so,
Houston
too.
deserves to be F on its own.
I don't know. I
Agreed.
think the Royal are. Well, I don't know. I think
Royale.
they're the best of the bottom 4.
They're in a
so-
better division than the rest of them.
Yeah.
And they also haven't gotten shit on by like 15 points yet.
Yeah,
And they showed life against DC, and they have to play the Empire at least twice a year.
Yeah.
So
And like, yeah, I think like maybe their biggest loss was that Boston lost by 10.
man, that's rough.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, didn't they just play Toronto this week and they lost by like
They played Boston close
5
too.
or 6?
Yeah, they
They
haven't been
lost by
that abysmal.
7. They lost by 7 to Toronto this week.
I think it's
Not
just
very
more of
close.
like are we gonna make a conglomerate of winless teams just because they're all winless.
They are
Like-
winless. At the end of the day, they deserve to be.
Like they've all had games where they're like, Detroit had a 1-point loss. I would say Dallas maybe is the only one that hasn't had like a game like that where it's like, oh, maybe they'll. I mean,
do we
maybe
put
one of the
Dallas at
Houston
the
games, I
bottom?
don't know.
I'm fine putting Dallas at the bottom, especially below Nitro too.
I'm-
Dallas just gets beat up.
Nitro are terrible, man.
Yeah, I'm also cool with it. Like I don't I know the AUDL, we were talking about the AUDL power rankings have Detroit last because of the streak, but I don't think they're the worst team in this
Yeah,
group.
That's a good point. Look,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
actually,
point.
yeah.
I think we put Dallas at the end.
They gave Detroit gave Dallas a run for their money, and we're keeping Montreal at the top because we liked. I mean, I don't know. They made me kind of scared for DC at one point, and I just don't
Mhm.
feel this. Yeah, Dallas just has not done that. Nitro had a good game against the Shred when they actually had their players.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they basically folded. I'm fine with dropping them too. if
They
you
also
guys
had
are.
a had a
man.
good game against the Spiders, but
I think the Nitro would probably beat the Mechanics. I'm going to be honest.
At this point in the year.
start of the
Yeah, it
season,
depends-
start of the
depends
season Nitro
which
or now
Nitro.
season Nitro.
We need
I
2
think-
Nitros. We need there really are 2 Nitros.
I think we're talking now Nitro
Top
because
of
that's
Mechanics tier and bottom of Mechanics tier.
that's just not worth it. But I mean, the
Current
Nitro,
Nitro.
went to Chicago and had a pretty similar game as Detroit there.
True.
So I mean, I don't know. It's
Who
close.
fucking knows?
I think I would pick Detroit to beat them, but if we're not sold on that, we can leave it as is.
I'm not totally sold on that. I want to leave it as is.
After the way the Summit duked on the wind chill, I'm gonna give the West Division a little bit of a leg up.
All right, that's fair.
Sure,
Yeah,
That's fair.
sure. A lot of
Way to
logical
way to
leaps there,
find a
but-
way to talk about the summit while we're still in Mechanics tier.
Yeah, well done, Ryan.
Oh, got it. It's
I'm sick of this. Let's go to D tier
Yeah, let's go to
why are we
D.
spending so much time in Mechanics tier?
because we're
Well,
meandering
every
and
tier is
unprofessional.
So Seattle didn't play. The Growlers lost by
played, but-
4.
Yeah, I think expected.
Growlers went up on the Aviators.
Yeah, they
They did
did.
last
They had
time,
me
too.
scared, man. And then they just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, the Aviators.
Aviators took it back. They played well. They earned it and they took it back. But I mean, the Growlers were up by like 3 or 4, in like the first half first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They were looking pretty competent, and they didn't have Travis Dunn.
Yeah, the Growlers are like not that bad. They have like bad results. I kind of feel that way about Madison too. Like,
yeah,
they're both in here because they have bad results, but they're not that bad
like,
if they show up.
Yeah,
their top like 4 players, 3 or 4 players could be starters on like most other teams. You know, it's not like they're that much worse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's the depth, and then it's, you know, I think when you're at this point in the season and you have the record that you have, you just kind of don't believe as much. Like maybe they got momentum early and they were probably feeling good, but then as soon as the Aviators swung the momentum back, then it was just kind of like they had all the momentum and they just
ran
didn't
away with it.
Yeah, they just kind of ran away with it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't move them up.
Yeah, I guess with the D tier as a whole, like Madison lost by 1 to Indy. So none of the results really swing anything. Maybe we just kind of, if we want to reshuffle based on like if something doesn't look right to us generally. But
my only thing would be like in my heart I want to say like, oh, maybe the Growlers over Pittsburgh, you know, but I mean, let's not forget that Pittsburgh beat Madison, and we like Madison more than the rest of those teams now. So let's not move the Growlers. Let's keep it as is.
Feels good to see too.
Yeah, I also
just
want to say about Toronto is their only wins have come against Montreal or Pittsburgh. So like, I don't know. I'm not super high on Toronto. If we wanted to move the Growlers above them, I don't think I would have a qualm. Even though Toronto is 4-4, that's still 3 wins against the Mechanics tier and 1 against D. But I guess Growlers haven't really done much better than that anyway. So
we can't move them down after they won and the Growlers up after they lost. So
yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah,
also,
fair.
Seattle just beat the Growlers, so like they are kind of together.
Yeah, let's just keep it all.
Yeah, everything's kind of a mess in there.
Well, all right. Madison did lose, but it was by 1 point to a B tier team. So are we just gonna keep it? We're good.
Let's keep it.
I think so.
Not enough to tip the needle. I mean, like maybe at the end of the season it'll be different, but let's keep it as is now.
Okay.
All right.
The Hotbirds did not show up this week, so let's talk about the Coldbirds.
Yeah, who the Coldbirds play?
No, the Hotbirds didn't show up.
No, I'm saying who.
They didn't play anybody.
They just no one showed up. They didn't play, but they beat they beat Montreal last time, but didn't cover the spread.
They stay.
Glory Boston lost. Glory's a fake team. No, the Glory did play, Ryan.
They lost to DC.
Yeah, they lost to DC.
They lost to DC. I mean, it's a 4-point loss, but it was pretty much DC's game the entire way. Never felt close.
I want Glory to lose to someone bad so that we can move them down, or beat someone good so we can move them up. Or else I have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
I think they're kind of like. I think they're kind of like Chicago.
Yeah,
I think Chicago would wipe the floor with them. If I'm being honest,
you think so? I don't think.
Yeah.
Okay, our unofficial correspondent, Joseph Wagner, was at the Glory Empire game, and he commented to me that the Glory players looked pretty sick, and he mispronounced Ben Sadok's name. I think he said Ben Sadak, and he was like, Ben Sadak looked awesome. So
Ben Sadak does look awesome. To be totally fair, they do have some really sick players.
They got some sick players.
Joe Wagner made his phone background a picture of him and Jack Williams after that game. So he is just a kiss ass to every AUDL player.
Yeah, that's true. He'll just kiss whoever's ass that he can get the closest to. So maybe we just, yeah.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that said, like, I mean, he was there in person and he was impressed with how some of their players looked, but it just, you know, obviously depth goes a long way. And yeah, I don't know. We're not gonna move them up or down.
Yeah,
Chicago, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Union beat Detroit twice. Whatever. B tier.
I mean, we should also mention that after New York and DC, Boston, Philly, and Toronto are all 4-4 right now. So just a tight playoff race.
Yeah,
interesting.
And I'm fine where they all are. All right,
I'm not arguing for movement.
Yeah,
I was just commenting on the importance of the next 4 games.
Yeah, I was looking at schedules. I think Philly has the best shot from here. I think Boston has a couple DC games maybe. And Toronto also has some tough games, and then they all kind of play each other too. But
Philly has the best shot because they've got their Empire games. They got their Empire games out of the way.
Right. Anyway, yeah, let's roll ahead. Let's talk about B tier.
Okay.
Minnesota embarrassed themselves in Colorado.
Well, Minnesota has an argument to get dropped down. Does it beat okay? We have a B tier team, a team that is next to Minnesota right now, ostensibly next to them in the rankings, that we're not sure who beats who. Well, they've each played the same team now, and we've gotten wildly different results.
Yeah. This is crazy, and I have a thing. I think we take Windchill and Alley Cats and put them in C tier above Union and just get that central. I'm sorry, Alley Cats, you just won a game, but y'all, I think that you live in this Midwest bubble where it's oh, we play each other and we win and it's whatever. But anytime you play any other team that's good, nothing.
Except for last year, except for last year when the Chicago Union trounced the Colorado Summit in the playoffs. Anyone remember
that roster was totally different.
All right.
I'm just saying, Ryan, you just said something very broad, and
you can't say that. You can't say that with what happened last year. The Summit, as far as we know, are absolute fucking frauds after that performance. You just can't say that. I mean, they're not. We know that they're not, and they just basically doubled up Minnesota. Ryan, I have a counter proposal. Okay, are you willing to hear me out? And
Yeah,
I think you could be happy with this. I think this is something we could all be happy with. All right, Minnesota, top of C, like you suggested, and then I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. And this is the part that that you might not like, but I think we nudged the Aviators up 1.
I'm fine with that.
Don't think of it as we're moving the Aviators up, because I know you're not a believer. We're not.
No,
moving
I'm an
them
Aviator believer now.
I'm an Aviator. Okay, good.
I'm an Aviator believer in the fact that they're better than the Central Division.
Yes,
Central Division.
Think of it as we're shifting the whole.
You're turning into Philly, Ryan.
We're shifting the whole
garbage.
We're shifting the whole Central down a peg, but I've been put on the record saying this, but as long as I hold a chair on this council, the Alley Cats don't drop below B. All right, that's just how it is. I'm sorry, but do we like this? I mean,
I do like it.
Fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Do we want to just say suck it to the glory and move? No.
I think this is where it's at. We have no idea what the Soul is because their schedule is too easy. I think the Spiders are good. Spiders are a good team.
Spiders are more real. Okay. Actually, I was gonna say this, but then now I stopped myself. But I want to ask you guys: are the Spiders more real than the Soul?
Yeah,
I think so. But I mean, part of it is lack of seeing the Soul play great games.
The Soul, the Soul get to play Carolina. They get to prove themselves and play Carolina, and have they?
Well, they lost. But I also if they had played 5 good games this year, would we have seen them win 1 or 2 of them instead of they went 0-2 against Carolina and 0-1 against the Hustle? And I don't know, if they had played 2 more good games, would they have won any of them?
Well, we can say the exact same thing about Oakland. If they lost to the Summit, we maybe still feel okay about them. But you lost to the Summit, and then we don't really know who you are because you've only beaten Nitro and Cascade. So who are you? You know what I mean? We could say the same thing, but they fucking
wait. I think I'm arguing the same thing as you, and just saying I wish I had more games of the Soul against good teams, because I just would like to know more about what they. I think the Oakland does look like the more real team.
Yeah,
I will say.
I just think. Well, my I guess where I disagree is like I think the Soul have had the exact same chance as the Spiders to like show us that they're real, and they've gone 0 for 3 and like are you real or not games. So
fair.
I will say both teams did host the San Diego Growlers. And the Soul won 21-17, but the Spiders won 21-17. So it's a close one there.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe
that's kind of crazy.
I don't super believe in like, oh, how do these two teams do against this other team? Because there's just like so much that can change, but that's kind of crazy. And they're right next to each other on the tier list. And I think that's where they kind of belong, but like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we have to wait like a couple weeks till the Aviators and the Spiders finally play, but that'll be pretty telling.
Yeah,
for sure. When that finally happens.
Yeah, we need that. We need that to really see like what's going on. It's a toss up, man. Both teams like have momentum and they need that for the playoffs, basically. So if you're not sure what game to tune into, Spiders, Aviators, like watch that.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah, that's gonna be
all
crazy.
Right. Let's hop up to A. The Summit won by a lot. The Hustle cleaned up in Texas. DC took care of business in a doubleheader as well. And then I think nobody else played above that.
Wow.
Any vibe shifts whatsoever based on who did play and how they did?
So
I don't know.
So I don't think the Summit need to move up, but I just want to say one thing about a guy who definitely doesn't get talked enough about how good he is at Frisbee. Jonathan Nethercutt, I thought was just good at throwing the disc, and I was like, he stretches the field, whatever. He had a layout D yesterday, and I was just like, fuck, like this guy, like how can he do everything? So his impact to the team, I think, really showed yesterday, and how they like just kind of like destroyed Minnesota. Like he's just such a consistent, reliable shooter. And we look at that 3-game losing streak to the Shred in Oakland. Like the game they lost to Oakland is the reason that we're kind of like, is the Summit frauds? And it's like it was a back-to-back road trip without Nut. Like I think we got to take, and they lost both games by 1. They lost all 3 games by 1. So. Yeah. I think yesterday kind of restored my confidence in that. Okay, yeah, this Summit team is actually who I think they are, and not just like fake good teams. With all that being said, the rest of these teams are like, honestly, I think it's a toss up between Flyers, Breeze, Hustle, Summit. Like, I think it's clearly that the Shred are dominant. If the Summit games go a different way, then the Summit are undefeated or top of the league. But as of now, this A tier is just like, they're all pretty good. I think Phoenix is kind of fake. That's just my feelings. I think we all think that.
I think they're completely fake, and they're gonna like freak out if we move them out of A. So
let's move them out of A.
Should we just do that?
It's only because they're split. Do we want to talk about where
would we actually put them?
Where we would actually put Phoenix?
Below Spiders.
They're 4-4. Yeah, I mean, I would. What are we going to say to them? What are we going to say to them when they say we have the same number of wins against the A tier as Oakland?
Who cares? We don't respond to them. They're whatever.
They've been out of control, Twitter. Man. Okay. Before we do anything,
Boston.
Yeah, that's what we say.
Before we do anything, I mean, what was I gonna say? I don't even fucking know. But yeah, I mean, I hate seeing them in A tier, but like,
I think a loss to Boston would be the worst loss even in the B tier, right?
Yeah.
At least by tiers.
Well, if we're that low on Minnesota, then like Alley Cats losing to Minnesota is not great.
But I mean, we have Boston below Minnesota.
We do have Boston below Minnesota.
Move them down.
Like by the tiers, that's the worst loss in the B tier, I think.
But then we're saying that like we were wrong last week,
Yeah.
And do we admit that we were wrong?
We were wrong.
Well, I think before we had this is what good Philly is, and this is what bad Philly is. But if we're just saying what Philly is as a whole, like I don't think we were saying that Philly deserves to be an A tier. We were saying when Philly plays well, they're an A team.
Okay. I am fully like okay with moving them down, but before we do anything, the last thing I want to just check is like, do they have some game next week that like will help us decide once and for all? You know, like what are they doing next week? And then maybe we can like talk about it next week.
I think they play Breeze in 2 weeks, and they have
They just play the Royale.
Yeah, and they just
man. I wish their Breeze game was next, and
let's move them down.
Are we gonna keep the 2 birds thing for another 3 weeks?
Nah.
All right, we're over it.
Yeah.
Or do we just put both birds next to them?
How do I get this out of here? I don't know how to get them out. Get out.
How did you get the other Detroit one out?
I had to like make a new tier list template.
God. Oh my god!
All right, I'll do it after. But where should we put Philly if we want to do that?
If we want to make a statement, it's top of C. If we want to just like be, I don't know, we could do I think bottom B. Like that's where
I think in between the Soul and the Spiders is kind of where I would put them, because I think the Soul.
I think they're worse than that.
I think they're worse than that too.
I think the Soul maybe beat them. Oh man, I don't know.
Middle of B then.
If we put them below the Aviators, they'll be really mad because they're trying to do that like our guy should be defensive player of the year instead of Lucas Ambrose thing.
Oh yeah, they kept.
So they started a beef with LA.
They were like, "Oh, we shouldn't say the West is the worst now. We should say it's the Central." And I really wanted to respond with a screenshot of them beating Pittsburgh by 1 point.
Yeah, let's put them below the. I think bottom B. Bottom B. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
They beat Pittsburgh by 1. How much does Alley Cats beat Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
How much did the Alley Cats
more than
beat
1?
Detroit
I think.
By?
I think more than 1, right? If it's more than 1, then they're below Alley Cats. This is what
I just think they haven't played yet.
They haven't fucking played them?
Yeah, they haven't played yet. They only played
their last 2 games. What is this schedule? What is this? Their last 2 games are against Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Why? That's crazy. How has a team out of division played them already, and the Alley Cats haven't played them once? Oh man, this is hard.
All right,
I'll put them right. I'll put them there. I think that's.
Say you put. It makes me sick seeing them above the Alley Cats, but fine.
Do we put the Cold Birds next to them just for like work as a sign of like we're joining?
No. I'll get rid of the Cold Birds in post.
They're
done.
Right.
Cold Birds are done. No more kid gloves. That's the term. No more kid gloves with Phoenix.
Yeah, it really sucks that they beat the Flyers. It just like doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. They played well. That's the thing. It's like when they click and everything goes well, they can beat a team like the Flyers on a road back to back if everything goes well. But things don't always go well for them. And at the end of the day, like it kind of evens out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Law of averages or whatever you want to call it. But I think they average out to around a B tier team. You know,
yeah.
probably.
I think we also put it like pretty in the middle. It dropped 3 spots and Cold Birds jumped up 4 spots.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty in the middle.
Is there anything else we need to talk about? Because I don't think A tier comes.
No. If you've made it this far, get yourself this shirt.
Yeah. And subscribe.
Be a part of history.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
Be a part of history. Buy our merch.
Yeah.
And I'm open.
I'm open.
I'm open.
I'm open.
Thanks for watching. I love you.
I'm open.